and welcome back to my channel, Kelly Rene Every Day, where I'm here dedicated to teaching the fundamentals of crochet. So today I have a tutorial for you on what I call my super scarf. And it's a super scarf because it's a little wider. This is about 10 to 11 inches wide, but it's 8 feet long. And if you caught the picture on my intro, you'll notice that you have the option to wrap it around a couple times, as well as you can wear it a little bit longer. And I really love the look, and I also love the feel of this scarf. The yarn that I'm using for this scarf is the Lion brand Heartland, and I'm using the color Congaree. And this happens to have 251 yards of yarn, 230 meters. It's 100% acrylic, but it's a very soft, it has that little bit of a sheen to it, and it's really nice yarn to work with. It's really great for wearables, for scarves, for blankets, for hats, for mittens, and it really worked up nicely with this stitch. Now the stitch that I'm using here is a variation on the moss stitch. The moss stitch is traditionally a single crochet in combination with a chain stitch, but I'm actually using a half double crochet chain stitch combination, so it's going to be worked up very similar, but you're going to notice that there's more spaces in between the stitches as opposed to being a more compact, close together type of a fabric that's created with the traditional single crochet chain moss stitch. So again, we're going to be using the half double crochet here. Now, besides the yarn that we have, we are also going to need a 6mm crochet hook, and that's the crochet hook that's called out on the band here. And I'm going with that one in this case because this type of yarn is not as stiff as traditional 100% acrylic, so it works up nicely, and it's again, it's going to have a little bit of a drape and laciness to it. So 6mm hook. You're going to want a scissors. I have a tape measure here just to kind of show you about, how wide we're going to be. So this one measures up at about 10, but anywhere between 10, 11 inches across. And then you're going to want to have a yarn needle at the end to weave in any ends that you might have. Now, as far as the number of balls of yarn, I use 2.5 balls for the length that I have here, but you can make this as long as you want. You may not want it quite as long. 2 balls, I believe, made it around 5 feet long, so so that was kind of more that traditional length. So totally up to you, and that's what the beautiful thing is about handcrafts like crochet, is you can customize them to your needs. So I will be right back with getting started. Okay, so we're ready to get started. So first things first, we're going to need to get our yarn on our hook. So I am simply going to do a slip knot here and pull it through and get it on my hook. Now I want to put it at the largest place on my barrel. Now if you are needing some practice with crochet or getting the fundamentals down, I do have some videos on my channel that get you started, and it's actually a video that I call Learn to Crochet in 2 hours. And it gives you everything in detail, slows things down, helps you to, get your yarn on the hook, how to hold the yarn, make a chain stitch, give you some practice. So I encourage you to go back there if you need to. But I'll keep things, pretty basic here so that you can follow along. And then if you need that practice, I will link that in the description down below. Now, so as we get started here, we're going to chain 40. Now, this particular chain combination is going to have multiples of 2, and then you're going to add 2 to the end. So I'm going to chain 40. So I'm going to simply yarn over, pull through, get back up to my largest place on my hook, yarn over, and pull through, and continue to do that for 40 chains. Now again, if you need some of that extra practice, don't hesitate to kind of back up, take a little bit of time, and learn the basics of crochet through that video that I just had mentioned. Okay, so I'm going to get a chain 40 long, and I will be back. Okay, so now I have a chain that is 40 chains long. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up my work, and we are going to work a half double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. So I am going to zoom in here so that you can see what I've got going on. Okay. And now what we're going to do is the chain that my loop is coming out of is my 1st chain. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to go into this chain right here. So this is going to be a half double crochet, so that requires me to yarn over, and I'm going to go directly into my chain. I'm going to yarn over and pull up a loop, so I'll have 3 loops on my hook, and then I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to pull through all 3. Okay, that's a half double crochet. And then I'm going to chain 1. Okay, and now on my chain down here, I'm going to skip a stitch. So I chained into this one, or I'm sorry, I half double crocheted into this one. I'm going to skip, and then I'm going to half double crochet again into the next stitch. So we're going to skip a stitch and then half double crochet into this one. So pull up that loop 3 on, yarn over and pull through all 3. So I've got my half double crochet. Now I'm going to chain 1 in between here. Okay. And now we're going to skip a stitch down below on my chain, and then I'm going to half double crochet into the next one. So yarn over, half double crochet, go in, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 on my hook. Then I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to do it again. Half double crochet, I'm going to skip into the 2nd chain from where I'm at, and then I'm going to chain. And then I'm going to skip, and then I'm going to half double crochet into the next one. So yarn over, and I'm going to go in, yarn over, pull up, have 3 on, yarn over, and pull through all 3. Chain, and then I'm going to yarn over, skip, and then we're going to go into, with a half double crochet, into that next stitch. 3, yarn over and pull through all 3. Chain 1, and then I'm going to yarn over, skip, and then I'm going to go into the next one with my half double crochet. So it's half double crochet, chain, half double crochet, chain, and then you're always skipping a chain on the foundation there each time you go in. Go, and then chain. So continue to do that the rest of the way down the chain, and I'm going to pick up again just a couple chains before we get to the very end. Okay, so I'm almost to the end here. I've got a couple more to go. So I've just completed a half double crochet and a chain. So I'm going to half double crochet, I'm going to skip and go into my next chain right here. Then I'm going to chain, and now you'll notice that I have to skip, and I've got one very last chain right before my slip knot that I'm going to half double crochet into. So I'm going to end this row on a half double crochet, which is perfect. That's exactly what I want to do. Okay, so that completes my very first row on my scarf. Okay, now let's kind of see what we've got here. So what I like about this scarf is that the counting becomes easy. Instead of counting individual stitches, we're going to count the spaces. So as we look here along this this row, I've got those chain spaces all the time. So my first one comes right here. Then I've got 2, 3. I'm going to point with my thing here. So I've got 1 here. Then I've got 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That's going to be our magic number for our entire project. We're going to have 19 chain spaces on each one of our rows, and I encourage you to count it each time to be sure that you have nice even rows on your scarf. As a beginner crocheter, that's the challenge, is keeping your edges nice and straight, and the key to it is the count of the stitches in each one of your rows. So 19 spaces this time. Now I am going to simply chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then I'm going to turn my work. And now you're going to notice that I can see those spaces from the row down below, and that's exactly what I'm going to work into. So I am going to start off with a half double crochet. So I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to go right into the space. I'm not going into any stitches. I'm going right into that space. I'm going to pull up a loop and I'm going to pull through all three. So I'm doing my half double crochet first, and then I'm going to chain one, and I'm going to zoom back in here, make sure that you can see. And I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to half double crochet down into the chain space right there. And then I'm going to pull up that loop and I'm going to yarn over and pull through all three. Chain one, and then I'm going to yarn over, half double crochet into the chain space right there. And then I'm going to pull through all three on my hook. I'm going to chain one, I'm going to yarn over, half double crochet down into the space, yarn over, pull up three, yarn over, and I'm going to pull through all three. Chain one, yarn over, back down into that space. This is all we're going to do for the rest of our project. So we're going to continue to half double crochet, chain, half double crochet, chain, half double crochet all the way across. I'm going to meet you up on the end here. Okay, so I've just got two spaces left on my end here. So I've just half double crocheted, so I'm going to chain, and then I'm going to half double crochet into, into my chain space here, all the way through, and then I'm going to chain, and then I've got one more space on the end here. So don't forget about that one. That's your turn from the row before. So I'm going to yarn over, half double crochet, pull up that three, yarn over and through all three. So I've ended on a half double crochet. And now I'm going to do my 1, 2, chain 3, and I'm going to turn, and we are going to go right back into that space that was just created with a half double crochet. And then we're going to chain 1 and continue across our row, continuing to do our half double crochets into those chain spaces with a chain in between. Simple, easy, and fun to do. So here, all you need is a chain stitch, a half double crochet, and you are good to go. Okay, so I encourage you to continue going. Make this scarf as long as you wish. Okay, if you have any questions as you're working, don't hesitate to comment down below and I'm happy to answer them. And then if you find that this was helpful, please subscribe to my channel. I thank you for taking time to watch, and I look forward to seeing you in our next project.